with Ego Nobody Wins in just a bit. In this hour, we're having a very, very, very interesting conversation. And I'm going to introduce an amazing guy who's going to tell you a lot of ththings that are very important to you. I'm talking about John Kea, who is an assistant director with Retirement Benefit Authority. Mr. John Kea, great to have you on the show. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I am fantastic.
Yeah.
Great to meet you. We're going to have a very, very interesting conversation right now.
Yes.
And you are an assistant director with RBA.
That's right.
Let's begin by, when somebody mentions RBA, definitely the first thing that comes to mind is I pay them money. They're going to save this money for me. At the end of a certain period of time, I'm going to get my money back. Yeah. But they forget the regulation. Yeah. So what primarily is the primary mission of RBA, and what is your responsibility in terms of regulating retirement benefits industry?
All right. Thank you so much for that question.
Yes.
And I'm glad we're starting with it because then I can clarify
yes.
that RBA is a regulator. It's not a pension scheme.
That's right.
So money is paid into a pension scheme, and there are various types of schemes which I'll talk about.
Yes, yes.
But the regulator oversees and supervises all the pension schemes.
Okay.
So we and so maybe what I can do is we the first thing that we do, or our first mandate,
yes,
statutorily, is to supervise and regulate the establishment and the management of these pension schemes that I'm talking about.
Okay.
So anyone who wishes to start a scheme would have to come through the Retirement Benefits Authority, and we would have to register them.
Okay.
And upon registration, they can now commence the business of running a pension scheme.
Right.
Thereafter, we have the role and responsibility of ensuring that we protect the stakeholders of these pension schemes.
For sure. For sure.
The primary stakeholders are the contributors or the members of these schemes, the ones who put in the money.
Yes.
But also the sponsors of the scheme.
For sure.
So RBA as an employer is a sponsor of the RBA pension scheme.
Okay.
Nation Media Group as an employer is also a sponsor. So they are the ones who make the decision of starting a scheme for its employees, and thereafter also contribute their portion into the scheme on behalf of their respective employees.
Okay.
So those two are the primary stakeholders, but we also have other stakeholders who it's also in our interest to take care of them.
Right.
And these are the administrators. We have fund managers who also offer services to schemes. We have custodians.
Yes.
To that extent, and now we also have a new a category called corporate trustees as well. And so those are some of the fund service providers whom we take care of their interests.
Okay.
Over and above that, we also have the role and responsibility of promoting the growth and development of the pension sector.
That's true.
So just making sure that we create a conducive environment for growth of the assets. You see, your money and my money go into the scheme. Yeah. But we know there is inflation.
That's true.
So we have to make sure that those funds are well managed to not only beat inflation but also grow, so that upon retirement we have adequate funds to survive. Yes, to be paid and to survive on.
Okay, that's true.
And then lastly, because these are policy issues, we have the role and responsibility of advising our parent ministry, which is the National Treasury.
That's true.
On all matters relating to pension.
Right.
And then they are the ones who will adopt a lot of these policy recommendations and then convert them into the appropriate laws and legislation for implementation.
Fantastic.
So in a snapshot, that's what RBA does.
That's it.
Yes.
And I love that you've clarified that for anybody out there who has always been thinking that you can pay out your money to RBA. Now they know you are a regulator.
That's right.
What are some of the types of retirement savings plans, right? Does RBA register and regulate?
Okay. So RBA registers, I would say, we will categorize them.
Okay.
We recognize that we have different demographics in this country.
Yeah, of course.
And therefore, we need to cater to all of them.
For sure.
So at the moment, let me start off with, we can categorize based on formal sector and informal sector. For the formal sector, we have what are called the occupational schemes.
Okay.
And these are schemes that exist within organizations.
Yes.
Nation Media Group has an occupational scheme.
Right.
RBA, the in-house RBA scheme for its employees, is
yes.
an occupational scheme.
Right.
But over and above that, we also have what are called umbrella schemes.
Okay.
So running an occupational scheme in its own could be a tall order, especially now as Kenya is really promoting the SME sector.
Yes.
And SMEs may also want to have schemes. It might be a tall order for them to run a standalone scheme. So we have what are called umbrella schemes, which is a collection of various smaller schemes. So what employers do is they join this umbrella scheme.
Okay.
And through that umbrella scheme, they save for their employees. So you would have maybe 10 or so employers.
Yes, come together
under one umbrella scheme.
Okay.
So we register those schemes, and these schemes tend to be issued by a lot of insurance companies and issuers as such.
Okay.
Then we have individual pension schemes.
Yes.
Now, this could cater for both the formal sector and informal sector.
Yes.
Whereby anyone, an advocate, an accountant who might be running his own practice,
yes,
and maybe is a sole proprietor for that matter, wants to save for their retirement, they could subscribe to an individual pension plan.
Right.
But even you and I, if we want to save more for retirement, we could also do additional savings through the individual pension plan.
Okay.
Why? Is because the occupational schemes have set amounts, have set targets that we contribute to.
Right. Yes.
Yes, there is also what people can contribute called additional voluntary contributions.
Oh, yeah.
But over and above that, we have the individual pension plan as well.
So basically, you can have an occupational scheme and individual scheme.
Yes.
So individual is maybe if you want to save up more.
Save up.
Because there's a cap with
Okay.
Yes. That makes sense.
That's an option. Then of late, of course, we have the National Social and Security Fund, NSSF.
NSSF, yes.
NSSF, for all intents and purposes, is a pension scheme and falls under the in as much as it was set up by an act of parliament.
Yes.
It is a pension scheme and therefore has to comply with the rules and regulations of the Retirement Benefits
Authority, for sure.
And then we also now have the Public Service Superannuation Scheme. This is quite new.
Yes.
In the past, the government used to pay civil servants their pension through through the exchequer, through the consolidated fund.
Okay.
So I would work, retire, then the government would calculate my pensions and then pay me from its pocket.
Okay.
But you would appreciate that over the years, with more and more people retiring and more people living much longer because of improvements in healthcare, etc., quality of life, then the pension bill for the government has been growing. And, it's very difficult to estimate how much money the government would keep aside.
That's true.
And these funds are also needed to also finance other projects, development projects, etc. So what the government decided to do is to establish a public service superannuation scheme where its civil servants will also contribute, just like me and you.
For sure.
As opposed to now just being paid from the consolidated fund.
Okay.
And so I would say that civil service scheme is unique to the civil service, or the public servants.
Right.
And then, and that's why I've also, in as much as it could also fall under occupational on account of being in government.
Exactly.
That's why I wish to also.
It's also independent.
Yes. To separate it.
All right. Yeah. If you have any question on matters regulating and RBA, the number is 0719038963. Call us. And of course, at Nation FM KE on Twitter is where you could ask those questions. Nation FM on Facebook and Nation FM _Kenya on Instagram. We could also find you on social media.
Yes.
In the event, do you want to mention your individual or you want to mention the RBA?
No, I think they should go to the
RBA. Yes. I was scrolling down some of the questions and truly you guys answer to these questions, yeah?
Yes.
And of course you can shoot in if you have, you're in a dilemma dilemma, you just want answers to matters related to this, you're going to get an answer at RBA Kenya. Yes, you could find it. Let's take a break, play you some songs, come back. I'm hoping that you are understanding. This is that conversation where you need to have a pen and a paper. Because there's going to be a lot of information which is very crucial. You just put them down in case you forget. But also we have videos so you can always, go and listen to this. All right. What about Spyro and Tiwa Savage with Who Is Your Guy? We're back in just a few with Mr.